This is Devin Croswell with Sherpa Design. We're going to take a quick look at a brand new tool in NX 2412, the sketch checking tool. This allows us to quickly fix the integrity of our sketches in NX. In this part file that I have open, there is a sketch feature on top of this plate for hole placement, or maybe we'll use that to extrude into our plate. Either way, we want to make sure that our hole placement sketch is set up correctly and robustly. If I enter into that sketch, we can see what looks to be a circle concentric with the endpoint of this line, the endpoint of this line on that origin. If I take a look at my sketch navigator in the environment, curves look fine, but the status here says partially defined, and that's fine. I haven't added any dimensions, but there should be some found relations. But when I click on these, I'm not seeing the found relations that I'm expecting to see, some of those concentric or line on point or coincident relations. And so this tool that we have available is up here in the ribbon toolbar on the Solve group. We have Sketch Checking. This is a drop down. And I can, in this drop down or that button right there, toggle sketch checking on and off, and it will give me some visual tags. If I turn that on right now, it's giving me some visual feedback about things that are not quite right in my sketch environment. And I can interact with these tags. If I right click on the tag, you'll see the default or double click action is to correct this, to fix this check. I can also just ignore this or deactivate this specific check. So as I'm looking at my sketch here, I'll notice that I have three things that are wrong, or may be wrong. Sometimes we're setting up sketches in a way where it may check as if it's wrong, but this is the way we want it. This isn't the way I want this, so we're going to fix this. We have almost concentric. We also have almost connected, as well as almost point on curve. As I mentioned, it's as easy as clicking on correct this, and then that fixes everything. If I click on this circle now, we can kind of see a concentric relation that is being found there. If I click on this line, you can see a coincident relation down there on the origin. And so now this is exactly what I initially wanted to set up for this, is a placement of this hole. I definitely want that to be concentric on the endpoint and the other endpoint being on the origin or center point of this plate. So that sketch checker, that sketch checking tool is helping me check that and fix that really quickly. It doesn't just work for sketches that I've already created. I can check this on the fly as I'm drawing this out. So it doesn't have to be off, and then at the end when I'm done sketching, I can check it. I can check it as I'm going. Another thing I'll mention here is that we do have check settings or checking settings. That'll bring up the dialog, and this is just what I'm actively checking for. I can have these boxes checked on or off. And if I'm looking for equal radius, equal length, I can check those on. It looks like by default, it's not always looking for that. I can also change the size. So I can either go model size or display size for what it's finding in my checking. So even just based on my zoom size, I can have it check that specific view window and not the entire model. But if I am looking to check the entire model, I could change that to be the measurement that it's looking for. There's also another check box here called check on finish, and that is when if I have it on and I'm leaving my sketch, I'm finishing my sketch, I hit that finish flag and I'm leaving the environment, it will check it automatically for me and let me know with those visual tags if anything is happening. So I can click OK there, and if I back up a little bit with what I was doing there, I have this one that I haven't fixed yet because I just backed up. And if I go to my sketch navigator, there's actually an issues tab, which will also display these found issues from the sketch checker, the sketch checking tool. I can expand that and see what it involves as far as the issue, which curves are involved. And I can also right click on this area in the Sketch Navigator, so I don't have to go to the working window. And I have that corrected there as well. And with those things corrected, I can now add in some dimensions to, say, fully define my sketch. Say I want that to be about that size. And then it looks like we've got an angle here that I should add. And then I have that fully defined. Maybe this is a reference curve. I can change that to reference. And then I can click finish. And if I were to have had any issues there, it would have notified me because it's checked on to check that as I'm leaving. So that is the sketch checking tool that we have available now in NX 2412 in our sketch task environment.